Eh. Greetings, minions. Do you like my pins? Actually, that is a good segue into the topic of which I am making this video of. Because, okay, a YouTuber that I watch, named Daz Black, woo, he made a video called Daz Watches Furries. And I kind of got into a, hold on, I'm filming. Okay then, I have to warn people beforehand. But that is why I have my pins that I made myself on my hat. It's because I'm here to sort of provide a factual information video. Because I got into a little debate with somebody in the comments. Because they said rather rude things about furries. I don't like that. No, I don't. So anyways, I found a website online called Ranker.com, and somebody by the name of Devin Ashby, that is not all together, that is 2 words. Nice name, by the way, if they're watching this, which I highly doubt it. But they wrote an article called Things Only Furries Understand. I'm going to be searching up multiple things on here. I'm gonna drag my computer onto my lap for better access. And that way I don't have to be hunched over all the time. Okay. So now, keep all indiscretions about said topic until the very end. Also, this is Vispy. She's a fennec fox. And this one up here, this is Scout. She is obviously a raccoon. There you go. Just thought if maybe you would want to know. Anywho, it starts out... I'm going to be not quoting the whole thing, but, you know, like, making my own sort of thing on it. I'm filming. Okay. Anyways, sorry about that. So it says, furries have been maybe the single most maligned and harassed. I appreciate how they use the word maligned. Malignant. Yeah. And harassed online community since the inception of the internet. Yes. I've been part of that, or experienced that firsthand. Oof. Doesn't feel that good. Furries are a fandom subculture that grew out of sci-fi and anime conventions in the early 80s. And they're devoted to the celebration of anthropomorphic animals. Yes. That is definitely what it is. Thank God somebody finally friggin' says it. Yes, it says that furries make artwork, write short fiction, and create fursonas, which they use to interact with each other both online and in real life. Yes. Though in real life, I probably would only use them over at, like, a convention. Probably. What is being a furry really about? Sorry, I stutter sometimes. What do furries actually do? Oh boy, apparently the media has its own thoughts about that one. Alright, I'm going to put the thing down here. Such an attractive angle, I know. But my hand was getting tired. Thanks to shows like CSI and misinformed exposés and publications like Vanity Fair, I've never read them, but I might. Now that this said that it wrote on there, I read these for humor. The furry community has been wildly misunderstood in popular culture. Okay, apparently I'm gonna quote this word for word. Targeted online bullying on 4chan, Reddit. Oh, Reddit. Reddit has its own problems. I'm surprised it hasn't been on Tumblr. Oh, and other online forums. Never mind, it might be on Tumblr. Has added to the problem, fueling a misperception of the furry subculture as nothing more than a... Okay, I could say this because I don't have my videos monetized, but please don't take me down, YouTube. More than a bizarre sexual kink, fetish, or a half-baked alternative species equivalent to being transgender or gay. It's not. It's not. In fact, the furry community is pretty much just a fandom. Yes. Except that instead of being a fandom for an existing show, comic book, or video game, it is a fandom for sort of a loose concept, consisting entirely of original characters and focusing on creative expression and roleplay. Yes. I also know that people verbally roleplay online worse things. Ugh. Now, fact number 1. Continuing on with this factual video. Fursuits are expensive, and they're usually handmade. Yes, and that's why I don't have one. There is no warehouse in Temecula that mass produces fursuits. Don't ask me where that is. I have no idea. Where is Temecula? Somebody search that and write that in the comments, please. Where is Temecula? Spell that Temecula. Thank you. Anyways, onward. They're almost all made by hand, either by fans themselves or by a select few private artisans. I love this person's words. Who create them to exacting specifications. Yes, those are called fursuit makers. Or, well, actually, no, that's what they're called. Furries hold workshops and exchange tips online, sharing the best techniques, and often shell out a minimum of $2,000 to $3,000 for one fur costume, aka a fursuit. And yes, that is why I don't have one. Because I am kind of financially down the well right now. Number 2. It is all about creativity. Yes, it is, and that's why I'm a part of it. Creativity. Though it's often construed, which means confused for, or confused as, a community that is primarily about sex, the furry fandom is actually all about creating stuff. It's basically a fandom loosely organized around the concept of a world run by anthropomorphic animals. Yeah, so all you people who liked Zootopia, you can't say anything. Welcome. Join us. Please. We are nice. People in the fandom make art, write short fiction, and build elaborate costumes, called fursuits, to engage creatively with each other based on that premise. It's like a giant live-action roleplay game. Yeah, people who LARP, you can't say anything either. You're basically part of us, except without the fur. Though I gotta commend you, that stuff takes a while to build. I tried to make a costume for LARP. I actually tried to find one somewhere near where I live. It's nowhere in driving distance. And that makes me sort of mad and disappointed. Anyways, number 3. Furries are altruistic. I don't know what that means. Everyone spends so much time focusing on the seedy sexual aspect of the furry subculture that they forget to notice all the genuinely nice stuff furries do. Yeah, we do a lot of nice stuff. Lots of furries form groups that partner with hospitals to entertain children. Yes. Or they appear at public events to do the same. Yes, they do. Lots of local furry meetups even donate a portion of their proceeds to charity organizations. Yeah, no media mentions that. Where the heck that be? Anywho, Number 4, which kind of makes me feel better. Not all furries wear fursuits. Of course they don't. According to the Anthropomorphic Research Project, only about 15% of people who participate in the furry fandom own their own fursuits. Yeah, and I want to be part of that 15%, please. Plenty of fursuits go to conventions wearing minimal costumes, like face paint and fake ears, or they go in street clothes. I mean, my clothing style could be considered weird. Probably. Some furries stick to writing fiction and making artwork and don't dress up as their fursona at all. But I want to. I mean, come on. Scout is adorable. Anyways, number 5. Most furries are basically hobbyists. Yes. Yes, we are. Sorry, didn't mean people. Bleh. I mean, they are people. Bleh, I can't talk. Furries typically don't live out their entire lives dressing and acting as their fursonas. They aren't even necessarily 100% devoted to the furry fandom. Yeah. I mean, come on. We're not that weird. Lots of furries love to geek out about a range of nerdy subcultural subjects, games, anime, classic science fiction, etc. I mean, I'm a nerd for Steven Universe, come on, and the movie that's coming out, hello, I am flipping out about it. But that's not that type of video. That goes for the round table, please. Anyway. The furry fandom began as an outgrowth of comic book and sci-fi conventions, and many furries remain as devoted to those communities as they are to furrydom. Yeah. This video is going to be longer, but Number 6. Furries do not believe they're really animals. Yeah, I mean, whoever made that up. The heck. The hell. People who believe that their real species or identity is something non-human, like a dragon, a bunny rabbit, or a character from Final Fantasy V is 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6. No, wait a minute. Well, yeah, it's 6. Sorry. Are known as otherkin, which isn't the same thing as being a furry. Yeah, otherkin kind of creep me out. I'm sorry about it. I know I shouldn't be kind of hypocritical in that sense, but Though otherkin do sometimes create fursonas and participate in the furry subculture, furries and otherkin are not interchangeable, and both groups tend to resent being directly conflated with one another. Yeah. Number 7. It isn't a sexual orientation. Biromantic and asexual are, which I am both. But being a furry is not. Don't make me say it again. While it's true that people in the furry community... Alright there, Steam. Calm down there. While it's true that people in the furry community do sometimes experience bullying and discrimination, and many of them are LGBT as well as being furries, there are several problems with equating being a furry with being LGBT. Many members of the fur community stress that their participation is about community and creativity, not about sexual proclivities or sexual identity. I'm freaking impressed that I managed to say that and not slip up. Number 8. Furries have been around longer than you think. Most people think of the furry community as an internet phenomenon, but it turns out their origins are much more obscure than that. The earliest recorded presence of furries in sci-fi convention literature was in 1983. But it's likely they had been around for at least a few years prior. Wow. People in anthropomorphic animal costumes have been a fixture of science fiction events and subcultures for at least the past 35 years. That is extreme. Number 9. Furry conventions are not adult meetup events. Actually, side note from me, this is coming from me now. We have children who have joined the fandom that are under 12. Why the heck? Yet people are still going on about that. Why? Just, why? Anywho, back to the actual facts here. The actual, recorded facts. While furry meetups are certainly attended by adults, what we of course mean is to say that people aren't going to furry conventions strictly to indulge in adult activities. Nobody is going to a FurCon anticipating a lost weekend of whippet-addled anthropomorphic fursuit orgies. Ew, never thought I'd have to say that. But I guess I'll add that to my said repertoire of words. Yeah. Fur conventions are social events, and yes, folks have been known to partner up after hours, just like at any other fandom convention. Most attendees, however, are there to show off their outfits, engage artwork, dance, get mildly inebriated, and make some new friends. Yes. And number 10, furries just want to be friends. The entire furry community is about making friends and expressing yourself. If you're not being a jerk, members of this community are among the most friendly and accepting people you'll meet, either online or in real life. Lots of them are socially awkward nerds. Me. But some are just genre enthusiasts, people who love cartoons and or science fiction, and people who enjoy being a little weird for fun. Again, number 11. The most obvious thing that I would hope that people would realize by now, it isn't just about sex. Honestly, I don't really like how she worded it this way, but It says, there is a kinky side to the furry community, but not everybody participates. Even furries interested in this side of the fandom aren't necessarily there for that reason and that reason alone. Furry communities are basically about roleplay, and they're also about socializing. So it's kind of a no-brainer that some members choose to incorporate that into their private lives. It's just not how the community primarily defines itself. Honestly, yeah. I don't, but some people do. Honestly, it's their private lives. What do we give a heck about? Number 12. It's not necessarily a kink. Though some furries are vocal about the role of sexual fantasy and their affiliation with the fur community, this isn't the case for everybody. People attend FurCons, draw furry artwork, and create fursonas for a variety of different reasons, and the majority of them are non-sexual. Number 13. Sadly, being a furry can be dangerous. Now, let us get serious here for a moment, folks. I have read this on the news, actually. In December of 2014, Chicago's Midwest Fur Fest shut down following a chlorine gas attack at the Chicago Hyatt. Though everything eventually came out okay, 19 convention participants were hospitalized. This is probably the most extreme example of anti-furry violence on record so far, but acts of aggression and bullying against members of the community are pretty common, especially in online communities. I cannot count the times that I've seen people say, "Oh, so if furries want to be animals, that means that we should be allowed to hunt them, right?" Mm-hmm. No. That is mass homicide, and you will get arrested for it. The police don't care if you're against furries. They care because it is a mass genocide of a group of people. Get your acts together, people! For Christ's sakes almighty! Anyways, going back to a lighter note, number 14. The sadness of being blocked by Tony the Tiger. I wasn't blocked by him, but my god. Oy. Love for the Frosted Flakes mascot is something of an inside joke among the furry community. But when a couple rogue furries started publicly tweeting their love for Tony the Tiger, the anthropomorphic serial spokesman took extreme action. Instead of just blocking the specific people, the people behind the account decided to block all furries, whether or not they had tweeted at the mascot. Lucky for jilted furries, they can always turn to Chester Cheetah of Cheetos fame. That tiger seems to embrace his furry fan base with a little more respect. Chester Cheetah is not a tiger, he's a cheetah, what the heck? And with that note, that is the end of those facts. So, back I go to the search engine, trying to find this. Ooh, psychology. Boy howdy. Ooh, BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed is my favorite people. Ooh, Candace Lowry, the BuzzFeed video curator. Ooh, let's see what she says, folks. This is interesting. 11 eye-opening misconceptions about the furry fandom. Ooh. All right, Candace, what we going here for? I'm interested. This weekend, I attended CaliFur, the annual Southern California, I can't speak, furry convention, and talked to an attendee about misconceptions of the community. It proceeds to say, I was expecting sexual stuffed animals coming to life. Christ almighty, Candace, what the hell? But ended up experiencing something completely different. Ooh. I sat down with Allison Barrios, attendee and self-proclaimed furry. Self-proclaimed? Yeah, because we ain't afraid to admit it. It's a hobby. To discuss the stereotypes surrounding the furry fandom. Oh boy. We discussed the major misconceptions the furry has about... I said misconceptions the furry has... Oh my god. I meant the misconceptions the public has about the fascinating subculture. I'm sorry for my terrible vocab. I can't talk. Anywho, this infamous CSI episode being a prime example. Yeah, CSI, here's a little news flash for y'all. CSI does not do research. They just make up stereotypes. Or they follow stereotypes. And that sucks. CSI used to be cool. Now they're just a bunch of fools. Anywho, onward. Furries are not sexual deviants. Quote, I used to have a bad feeling about furries, but I realized, okay, it's not just a sexual wasteland. It's really just a culture, end quote. End quote. Like almost any outsider, you are fed the propaganda, the negative of it, end quote, Allison said. Although there are late-night adults-only workshops at the convention, none included blatant sex acts. Being a furry means appreciating art and artistic talent. Quote, sorry, I'm gonna quote the quotes, air quotes, yes. Quote, as long as you appreciate the art and as long as you love the people around you, that's what the furry community is all about. Yes. It's really just a bunch of people that love anthropomorphic art, Allison explained. The thing that got me into it was the art. There were even, end quote. There were even specific drawing rooms you could sit in to share and create sketches and art pieces. The Dealer's Den was the main expo dedicated to the art and design. And yes, this next one is true. Furries feel betrayed by the media. Yes! Yes, we do! Every fandom has that kind of dark aspect of itself, but as long as you handle it maturely, there should be nothing to worry about. Media access at the convention was tightly controlled and restricted. I soon realized a fear of the media has developed over time. A large fear of the media, yes. Look up Sam Conway on YouTube, aka Uncle Kage. Watch his talks on there. He's funny and he explains how to handle the media. He is funny though. He's the chairman for Anthrocon up in Pittsburgh, which I really want to go to. Anywho. I soon realized a fear of the media has developed over time in the community due to dramatized and jarring ways the community has been represented. Unfortunately, people will always be looked down upon about it, but almost anyone will be looked down upon that isn't the current flow of whatever's popular, Allison mentioned. And next. It showed up on 2 things, folks. That means that it's real. Being a furry has dangerous consequences. Yes. Either they accept you, they ignore you, or they harass you in a very bad way. Yes. Some people, especially those that believe that they are the top, will mess with you. And there are some cases where furries have been hassled. Some really bad cases, Allison remarked. It's important to have people you trust that you know will not just chicken out and leave you, but that can protect you. Yeah. And that's why most fursuiters have fursuit handlers, these people that can lead them around, because fursuits have limited vision. Watch a fursuit video, like a suiting up video. It's where these people dress up in their fursuits, and you will hear them talk about field of vision. It's because fursuits have a thing called tunnel vision, where you cannot see that clearly, but some fursuit makers have found out a way to minimize the tunnel vision until it's like almost clear, but still it has like some space to where you have a bit of a blind spot. Yeah, just watch on that. People, do your research. Next one. Furries are complex works of art. Yes. It's like the theater. Theater makeup, theater costume design. That's why I think the sexual thing is kind of just silly. Yeah. Barrio said, I mean, imagine the fur itself is expensive and you do not want to ruin it. Because that's just like $3,000 down the drain right there. End quote. While attending a costuming workshop, I realized fursuits are mostly handmade. Everyone spends weeks, if not months, bringing their work to life. Just the fur can cost upwards of $2,000. Furries are not an exclusive group. People, if you just research and find out what we're about, what we really are about, and not just pay attention to what you've heard on the dark sides of the media, then you will realize that anybody can join. Heck, your little brothers and sisters, your grandparents can join. I'm not kidding. Anyone's just welcome. Love, family, friendship, it's what it's all about. Yes. Even walking around the convention, I was constantly being asked about the experience and was welcomed with open arms. It makes me want to go more now. Everyone had their own unique story and was excited to share it with those around them. I really want to go now. It sounds so freaking nice. Furries are a vastly diverse group of people. Yes. You're going to find people that love what you do, and you're just going to click in most cases. If anything, everyone is just happy and friendly and just really, hey, come join us, you know? Allison remarked. There were numerous special interest groups, including off-road furries, dedicated to off-roading sports, and fur fans in the military. But even though it's a diverse group of people, it's still extremely tight-knit. With this fandom, you can walk in and they'll act as if they've known you all your life. That's why I like this fandom. It's because I'm never a stranger. The attendees were welcoming and not afraid to just sit and talk with strangers. Many of the activities, whether it be watching animated movies or playing video games, are meant to bring furries together. The furry fandom has become a safe haven from bullying. Quote, "It has sort of helped me open up a bit and makes me feel that I am not alone," end quote. In many of the discussions I had, attendees had faced some sort of bullying in school and had found acceptance and comfort within the community.
Hey, honey.
Yes.
Where you at, woman?
No, but you can go past. Heck, y'all have been in most of my videos anyways.
Oh, I'm sorry, honey. I forgot.
That's fine. Anywho. Stop. Anywho. Finding your species takes time. It is all based on your personality and how you express yourself as a person. There are numerous species that you can belong to, including horses, cats, and even mice. However, unlike other kin who believe they are the spirit of the creature, it's more of a connection you have to the species that fits you as a person. Yeah, like raccoons. I'm sneaky and slightly a loner, but still, I am protective of my family. But foxes, they play a lot. I am sometimes playful. Sometimes. I'm also very sneaky in that regard. But onward. Fursuits are not a requirement. Yeah, they're not a requirement. Well, they're not a necessity, they are a luxury. It's just like an amazing way to lay out this kind of pent-up emotion that's in you. I was surprised to see the vast majority of attendees in everyday clothes, with just a tail sticking out or ears on. Some attendees weren't wearing any type of animal paraphernalia. If you had a fursuit and you put it on, it sort of just elevates the level of that species that you're acting in, Allison remarked. To some, the furry fandom is a confusing and possibly deviant subculture, but to furries, it is a loving and accepting part of their life that they could not live without. And with that, I ask you all to just think on what I have said in this video today. Actually, you all are free to actually go and find a piece of paper and a pencil and think about what kind of animal you would be if you were to wake up tomorrow as an animal. No matter if it be two types of animals, because you can make a hybrid. What would you be? Write that in the comments. I would love to hear it, because that would be your fursona. Accept us, for we are really just like you. Just weirdos with a hobby. And as always, Dark Minion 17, or Vispy, or Scout, signing out. Bye-bye.